Hi family, how you guys doing? Welcome to Phie.Love Intuitive Conversations. I hope you guys are good. Yeah. If you like my content, please do like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, if there's any negativity, if there's any hate, please do keep that on your side of the street, okay? Won't be acknowledged. So, family, in this video, I'm being guided by Spirit to talk about us blindly matching energy. What do you mean, Phie? So, generally, this idea of matching energy is very much, it's spoken of, she matches my energy, he matches my energy, we match energy. We match energy, they match energy. People match your energy and you suddenly feel good. It's a great thing, right? We're matching energy. However, what they don't teach you is that the lesson, the challenge, and our obstacle and our point of ascension is learning not to match energy. Learning not to match energy. Because when we're not matching energy, we're learning how to be within this realm, standing independently within our own unique energy, right? Not trying to blend in with the other energies, not trying to take on the experience of other energies around us and mold into a shared experience that defeats the whole purpose of us gaining and learning from our own perspective and unique energy that we've come into this realm with, to elevate, to ascend, and to build ourselves in the energy that is unique to the next person that we've come into this realm with, right? There's a reason it's a challenge and an obstacle and a point of growth to learn not to match energy. They don't want you to know that, so they teach you to match energy. They teach you that matching energy means that you are accepted. They teach you that matching energy means that you're a part and you belong and, means you have things in common with somebody. They teach you that matching energy is the opposite to being isolated. Teach you to, indirectly reject your own authenticity, your own uniqueness. Teach you to want to be like the outside. And not matching the next person's energy now, hearing that and thinking about how to embody yourself becomes a scary thought. Becomes the thing that makes you feel uneasy, right? Because you've been taught everything that contradicts that. Not matching energy contradicts everything that you've been taught. Everything that you've been told is right and is necessary to be a part and partake and take part in this stage and play that is happening out in the world, in society, right? So we never learn how to build the necessary boundaries up that allow us to reel in and operate and recognize and embody certain aspects of our own energy. We reject those aspects of ourselves and try to embody the energy that is displayed to us on the outside that looks like it's being accepted and being, integrated well within society at a specific moment in time, right? You become unconscious, you blindly match the energy of people, things, trends, and all things on the outside, and not fully, taking the time to consider whose energy and what energy am I actually matching to. What am I blindly doing? How is it benefiting me? Other than soothing all the things that have been planted inside of me and my mind and my conscience, or my consciousness, my conscience, planted into me to be afraid of, planted into me to avoid. Something to think about, huh? And if you're somebody who also tends to just match energy on the outside, and you find yourself also in cycles of situations where people walk away from certain things you've been pulled into participating with because you're matching someone else's energy. Probably you're matching someone's energy who's a bit more, maybe who's a bit more dominant than you are in their own agendas and their own energy and whatever it is that they're motivated by and whatever it is that they're aligned to. They might be more dominant and determined in those aspects. Not to say that they're on a more ascended level than you and not matching people's energy, but generally the people who are more dominant have others around them matching their energy, right? Because the dominant energy in a space or within a dynamic is the one that controls and directs where things are going, whether it's conscious or unconscious. And the one who is less certain, the one who is less aligned with themselves, the one who is less privy and molded to their own energy and agenda, will tend to sort of relinquish themselves to the more dominant energy within a dynamic, right? Or the energy that also, this is another view or perspective to it, right? Or also the one who brings the energy of a void, who brings a void into the dynamic, the one who, and I mean this energetically, who brings an energetic void, who brings an energetic expectation, the one who brings an energetic need. If you're somebody who tends to give in, who tends to be the one to match the next person's energy, then you tend to be the one to unconsciously, fill that void or that need or that expectation or requirement within the dynamic for it to work, right? The moment you move into an energy, or someone else within a dynamic moves into an energy where they don't match energy, it starts challenging the other energies around them. It starts bringing a bit of upset and unrest and imbalance. It starts challenging people to look at themselves. It starts making people feel insecure because you're the one now who's no longer trying to keep everybody, where everybody's keeping everybody matching one another's energy. You're the thumb that's sticking out. When really, that's what everybody should be striving to try to do, is to just be the thumb in their dynamics that stick out so that everybody can experience and learn from one another, from each other's true energy, from the real reason that you've actually drawn one another into each other's lives, right? Now, if you're the person who tends to give in all the time, who tends to be the one to match the energy on the outside over the more dominant one, find yourself in cycles of situations where you walk away from certain engagements or things that you've been, unconsciously made to participate in or give to, you end up being the person in the dynamic who is the least satisfied at the end of things. You end up being the person who feels the most drained. After some time, you end up being the person who feels used when you're no longer around people. So, learn to, I know it requires practice, it requires self-awareness. It's also one of the reasons why meditation is so good, because it helps you slow the energy down. It helps you, it helps to slow the energy down and to encourage more awareness to what's happening within the energy dynamics around you and within you. Okay, and also, be real with yourself about the reasons why you are actually someone, or why you believe that you need to match other people's energy. Be real with yourself about who within your dynamics is the one who has to put more effort into matching energy. Are you the one who's matching other people's energy, or are other people who come into your space the ones who are matching your energy? Who's more dominant in your dynamics? Who has to give in more? Who comes with the energy of a void that needs to always be filled? Who brings a void into a space? Who comes into your space with expectation and need? A really nice way to, of course it'll require you to slow down and again, talk less, okay? Don't talk too much. When you talk too much and you feel that you need to give too much to be seen, to be understood and heard, you miss everything that you need to actually be paying attention to. You miss the way people are moving. You miss the energy and the red flags, and you miss the actual things that are there present for you to see, people's intentions, people's agendas, people's reasons. Recognize if you're somebody who listens to respond, not to understand. And if you're only listening with your ears and not with your eyes and your energy and your intuition as well. Okay? So, a nice way to sort of also pick up, or how am I going to say this? A nice way to get into practicing, this dynamic and moving yourself out of the programming of matching other people's energy and getting comfortable with being in your own energy around other people, and then recognizing what kind of people you have around you that require you to match their energy in order for them not to project an energy of rejection towards you, so that you can be in their space. Become a little self-aware and question things that you're feeling when someone calls before you end up in someone's space. Pay attention to whether you're going through a bit of anxiety when maybe before the thought of certain people, before moving into other people's spaces, you didn't have any anxiety. Do you have a reason to feel anxious? You could be picking up on the energy of others who you're about to engage with, right? Because your energy is starting to move and fade further into their energy, so you start picking up on whatever else is going on in the space that you're about to go into. Like I said, we all have aspects to ourselves that we're not taught how to use how to understand, how to interpret and recognize are also forms of communication for us to understand our environments. Okay? If there's anxiety that starts coming up, question it. And, be real about where you stand in your own energy and whether you have reasons to feel anxious about something or not. Could be somebody else's anxiety you're picking up on. If you start feeling pressure to have to be something other than your own energy, right? Other than yourself. If you start finding yourself moving into an environment or ending up in a dynamic with somebody and you start feeling pressured to have to, embody a role that is not naturally yours, embody a role or embody an energy or a behavior or a way of being that has been modeled to you as accepted by the outside, as welcoming by the outside, or even as maybe receiving, right? All of those things are sort of indicators that you're moving into spaces where you don't get to actually operate in your own space and your own sovereign energy. Okay? Also, if you find yourself in a space with somebody and you feel the urge to have to talk, right? You suddenly feel the urge to have to talk, and you don't really, you feel the urge to have to talk, but you find yourself talking about something that wasn't on your mind initially. That could also be an indicator of an expectation of what's going on in the next person out of your own energy. What you're feeling urged to talk about, whatever you also, as an individual, when you're with somebody or around other people, feeling as something, where you're feeling unprovoked to give to an environment or to a certain dynamic of people you find yourself around, right? That as well is a good tell sign that there are expectations around you. There is a void that people have, or that somebody has brought into the space that your energy is unconsciously looking to fill. Okay. I've written a few things down. And what it can look like when you're trying to actually fill those voids or those expectations unprovoked is you find yourself going into physical action. You find yourself, because you're unaware of your own self within the inside, right? You find yourself sort of over-giving and over-talking, oversharing. And just by also recognizing the things that you find yourself wanting to talk about, find yourself wanting to give, that could be you unconsciously filling the energetic requests that are happening within the people around you. Okay? And that also is how you will learn once you start becoming self-aware and understanding of these aspects of yourself. Spirit wants you to learn to stand within your own energy, to learn and tell the difference and recognize, am I giving in? Is the action that I'm putting out right now, or the words that I'm about to speak, of my own? Or am I maybe unconsciously responding energetically to avoid a need, an expectation, an energy that needs me to match it or to fill its requirement, void, or need on the outside of me? these are all the different ways that the divine says you can, well, has also taught me, but the different ways that you can start moving into practicing for yourself what it means to stand in your own sovereign energy and move into the swing of elevating and ascending into a place of being where you're not matching, okay? You're not matching the energy on the outside. And once you start embodying that naturally, others will either start matching your own energy. I mean, there are people within our society like policemen. They do a really great job at not matching other people's energy, but understandably so. Why? Because naturally their character and the role that they're, meant to embody in society is an energy that is in direct opposition to what the general energy is of the masses out there with regards to their own understanding of how they, look up to, receive, and deal with people who are in authority positions like police officers. So, yeah, learn to start, learn to start understanding the things that are happening on the inside of you and not being reactive to them, okay? Learn to not be reactive to your feelings, your thoughts, and your emotions. Those are all things you need to learn to become observant of. You're programmed within society. The system programs you in everything, I've said it before, to be reactive to things and people on the outside, to be reactive to your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and to respond to things emotionally and physically that you've been programmed to worry about, programmed to be afraid of, programmed that are programmed to see as chaotic or as chaos and to have fear of that. So those things also trigger you into a space of, acting and matching energy in different ways and forms with other people, right? So there's a lot to get into. There's a lot that is required out of us as individuals with our experience here in this plane to ascend and heal and understand about ourselves, but also recognize that as you start ascending and learning how to maneuver yourself as an individual on the inside and stop trying to master the outside world or, put so much energy into taking control of the outside world, you start learning how to master yourself. And by mastering yourself, you automatically learn how to master the outside world. You automatically get to see where you actually can see yourself in other people, and also where other people are unconscious to themselves, right? It will change everything. How you deal with people, how you deal with yourself, and also what you believe the purpose of this physical vessel is that we have to, take care of and use to move through this realm of physicality, right? Anyway, I hope this has resonated, and try not to be so engulfed in matching the energy of the outside. Learn to be more observant. Learn not to speak so much. And again, pay attention to the kind of things you're going through on the inside, instead of being reactive and responding immediately, or trying to fill silence, trying to act before others around you act. Try and figure out what you could be actually picking up on the outside and responding to and matching to, that you might be, because of being unconscious, mistaking as something coming out of you, right? As you responding to something within you, when maybe you're responding to the energy and the pull and the request and the void and the need and the requirement or expectation that's filling the room of somebody else. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to pull a card now from the Flower Therapy deck by Doreen Virtue, and see what Spirit has to support our conversation. We'll give somebody who's watching our video a nudge in a specific direction, okay? Let's see. Yeah, please have one card, Spirit. Take time for yourself. I said, slow down, don't be reactive, and take time for yourself to understand what it is that's going on within the energetic space around you, and what it is that you are reactive to, what it is that you're responding to, and where you might also just find yourself overexerting yourself, doing for others, because your energy is just picking up on the on what others are putting out energetically as a need, because they're programmed to depend on the energy of others on the outside of them. And you not having any energetic boundaries or an energetic awareness between your energy and the next person's, you find yourself actually giving into and taking action on things, and then having people also take advantage of you, right? And then you create dynamics between yourself and other people that eventually become so out of balance that, like I said in my past videos, they end up having to hurt you because you haven't stood in your own energy, you haven't recognized your own energy, and something needs to happen to bring it back and put you in a place that has you in a place of having no choice but to put a boundary up that protects you and your energy, right? And creates distance and awareness between you and somebody else, and also gives you the courage to lay a boundary down and to be able to say no. It doesn't have to always get to that point if you're self-aware, and if you learn to understand your own energy and tell the difference between your own and someone else's. Okay, I've said it before. I will link a video I'll pin it, okay, in the comment section that I did a while ago about us about us taking charge of our own energy. I think the two of them will link nicely together, this one and the one we did back then, okay? So the card says, enjoy relaxation activities that nurture your soul, okay? So also, when you take the time to find your balance in your own energy and understand your own individual energy point without the influence and the interferences of others, you will learn how to recognize when someone else's energy is impacting that balance and your own true state of being. And when you become aware of that, and meditation is a really, really good way to slow things down and to become aware of what is coming in and out of your space energetically before it even arrives physically. Okay, so let's see what the book has to say. Take time for yourself. There we go. The book says, it's very important that you listen to this message and take time for you. It's admirable that you're so willing to lend a hand to those around you. You're constantly helping your family, friends, and co-workers simply because you love to give. The flowers and the angels say that this is a wonderful trait, and you don't need to stop helping loved ones altogether. However, you do need to relax and take a well-deserved rest. So, be aware when, things are a little bit out of balance, and where you're being taken advantage of, okay, simply because you're not aware of your own energetic boundaries and how you're giving in to other people, okay, unconsciously, and also not having your own people-pleasing tendencies under control, and being self-aware and understanding or aware of your people-pleasing tendencies, maybe even in denial about them, and wanting to be liked, right? Wanting to be accepted. You may be guided to set up respectful boundaries or change the way in which you help others, right? For example, you might make a rule that you're not available to counsel friends after 6 p.m. Or you might make self-care appointments a priority and refuse to cancel a massage or healing session in order to run errands. This card is your wake-up call. This is the moment for you to make needed changes to improve your well-being. In airplane safety presentations, they'll tell you that when oxygen masks fall from above, you must put yours on before helping those around you. Why? If you aid others at the expense of yourself, you may pass out and become unable to help anyone. Taking time for yourself isn't a selfish act. It's a necessity. It allows you to better care for those you love. Put yourself first, and you will find that your energy and mood change for the better. I am getting, for whoever might be watching this, or some of you who are watching this, Spirit wants you to start taking a bit of a time out and say no to people who are trying to take your time, and spend some time alone with yourself and spirit and do some introspection, okay? There might be people who are a little too demanding on your time, and it's making it a little bit hard for spirit to work with you. It's making it a little bit hard maybe for, changes that you're making to settle and integrate, and people are not exactly respecting your boundaries, or you are not respecting your boundaries and the changes that you are trying to make, and giving into old energy that doesn't really have their priorities really aligned with yours at the moment, okay? So if that's the case, it will resonate with you. You'll know for yourself if that's for you. Additional meanings to this card: take a holiday or vacation, book a healing treatment for yourself. Okay. Anyway, family, I hope this has resonated, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.